Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, we're going to focus on the 5 angles of attack. I'm going to show you different ways in which you can practice it. However, please keep in mind that the lessons that we're going to go over, you could apply them to other angles of attack forms. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is the 5 angles of attack form. The way that I would like for you guys to do it is to include a complete follow through, and this should be your bread and butter, especially when you're doing it by yourself at home, solo. Okay, so once again, it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is a diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, horizontal, and then a stab right there. Okay, the key is to make sure you do the follow through all the way. So this is a diagonal and go all the way and see where it parks. This is where it parks right here. Number 2, all the way and see where it's going to park. Okay, this is where it finally loses power. And then number 3, all the way, and this is where it ends. Number 4, all the way, this is where it ends. And then number 5, this is your stab. Okay, so the second step is to include leaning. Right now, we're going to lean in forward for every strike. So every time I strike, I'm going to lean forward. That's number 1. Okay, number 2, you see how I lean in forward? And then I return back. Number 3, I'm going to lean in forward, and then I come back. And number 4, lean in forward and come back. Number 5 for the stab, I'm going to lean in again. All right, so number 1 here, this is a regular number 1, and then with a leaning in, boom. All right, it might be a slight subtle difference, but as I lean in right here, as I strike right here, this is the difference. Okay, this is the difference right here. So when I strike, boom, lean in. Number 2, lean in. Be sure after that you do your strike and you lean in, that you retract, that you come back. And then for number 3, now I lean in, and then I come back. Number 4, I lean in, come back. Number 5, lean in and come back. Okay, so this next one is now the reverse. Every time I strike, I'm going to lean backwards. This is like for defense. Okay, so number 1 is the same, this diagonal. So as I do this, I lean backwards. Next is diagonal this way. So as I do that, I'm leaning backwards, come back to the neutral position. When I do number 3 right here, I'm going to lean back, come back. Number 4, lean back, come back to the neutral position. And when I do the stab, I'm going to lean back and do the stab. See, I lean back as I throw the stab right there. So one more time. 1, 2, 3. Notice how I recover, and then 4, recover, and then 5. See that? So always come back to your neutral position. That way from there you know if you're leaning forward, neutral, leaning back, neutral. Okay, the next one, what we're going to work on is the opposite of a follow through. What we're going to do is we're going to recoil the weapon back. So same angles of attack, same order, okay? So the first one is a diagonal. So instead of going all the way with like a follow through, what we're going to do is we're going to strike and immediately come back. See that? I come back. So for number 2, I know I need to be doing a diagonal this way, so I have to bring the arm over here. And then I strike and come back. You see that? And then for number 3, I know the arm once again needs to be over here, so I bring the arm all the way over here. I strike. This is a horizontal, and then I bring it back. And then number 4, I got to bring the arm all the way back over here, strike horizontal, and bring it back. Number 5, the last move, I have to bring the stick all the way here, stab, and retract. It comes back right here, and then we start the form again. So number 1, 1, and then bring the stick over, 2, bring the stick over, 3, bring the stick over, 4, bring the stick over, and 5. This may seem very tedious to have to bring the stick over after you do your recoil, but this is the point. You want to know that you have to do that, because then for the next step, we're actually going to immediately put the stick in the proper position. So that way you could see the difference and appreciate the difference. So let's go to the next form. All right, once you get some adequate amount of practice with that, the next form, once again, we're going to skip the moving the stick over. We're going to combine that with the recoil. So number 1 is a diagonal, and then it recoils back to where it needs to be, which is on this side. So number 2 is a strike, and it recoils back to here where it needs to be. This is the horizontal, and it recoils to the other side over here. Number 4 recoils to here, getting ready for my stab. I stab, and then it recoils to the top, getting ready to start the form again for number 1. So number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes back for number 1 like that. So hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.